Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. The year 2009 was an extraordinary one for American coinage, and at the heart of this excitement stood the Lincoln 1-cent penny. This was no ordinary penny, but rather a special tribute to Abraham Lincoln and the bicentennial of his birth. Collectors across the nation and around the world quickly realized that this coin was destined to become one of the most memorable issues in modern U.S. mint history. The Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for a century by 2009, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. 100 years later, the United States Mint once again decided to celebrate this milestone with a series of beautifully designed coins that would capture the spirit of Lincoln's life. For the first time in history, the Lincoln cent featured not just one reverse design but 4 unique reverses, each representing a different stage of Lincoln's incredible journey from his humble beginnings to his legacy as the nation's 16th president. This gave collectors a rare opportunity to own a set of coins that told a complete story. The obverse, or front, of the 2009 penny remained familiar. It continued to carry the famous bust of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909. His profile faces right, framed by the words, "In God We Trust." Above, liberty, to the left, and the year 2009 on the right. It is a portrait that has become an icon of American coinage. But the real excitement lay in the reverse designs. The first design depicted a log cabin, symbolizing Lincoln's humble birth and early life in Kentucky. It captured the story of a young boy who grew up in simplicity but carried with him the seeds of greatness. The second reverse showed a young Lincoln sitting on a log, reading a book, with his work tools by his side. This design represented his formative years in Indiana, emphasizing his thirst for knowledge and his determination to rise above the limitations of his environment. The third reverse honored Lincoln's professional life in Illinois. It depicted him standing tall in front of the state capitol building, symbolizing his entry into politics and his growing influence as a leader. The fourth and final reverse showcased the half-finished U.S. Capitol dome in Washington, D.C., representing Lincoln's presidency. The unfinished dome served as a metaphor for a nation still in progress, and yet under Lincoln's leadership, it would endure the greatest test of unity during the Civil War. Each of these 4 designs carried powerful symbolism, making the 2009 Lincoln cent one of the most historically significant issues in U.S. coinage. Collectors immediately rushed to obtain all 4 coins, often saving them directly from circulation. The 2009 pennies were struck at multiple mints, including Philadelphia and Denver, each marked with its own mint mark or left blank in the case of Philadelphia. Special proof and satin finish versions were also produced at the San Francisco Mint, adding to the variety and allure of this issue. Millions of these coins entered circulation, but what makes them special today are the variations in quality and the rare errors that occurred during production. While most examples are worth only face value, certain pieces stand out as treasures. High-grade uncirculated coins, especially those graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services, command strong prices on the market. Their sharp details, brilliant luster, and lack of flaws set them apart from ordinary circulation strikes. Proof versions, with their deep mirror-like fields and frosted devices, are also highly desirable. Collectors love these coins for their beauty as well as their historical significance. When preserved in perfect condition, proof 2009 Lincoln cents are true works of art. Era coins are another exciting area for collectors. Some 2009 pennies were struck with doubled dies, where the design elements appear doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. Such errors can make a coin many times more valuable. Other mistakes, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or coins struck on defective planchets, also add intrigue. Each error tells the story of a small accident at the mint that transformed an ordinary coin into a unique collectible. Even coins with unusual toning have gained popularity. Exposure to different environments sometimes cause these pennies to develop colorful shades of blue, gold, or rainbow tones. Collectors often pay premiums for such visually stunning examples. The historical context of 2009 makes these pennies even more important. The United States was experiencing both economic challenges and moments of hope, and the coins of that year remind us of the nation's resilience and heritage. Lincoln himself remains one of the most beloved figures in American history, and his centennial celebration through these coins only deepened his legacy in the hearts of collectors. Owning a 2009 penny is like holding a piece of Lincoln's story in your hands. For new collectors, the 2009 Lincoln cents offer a perfect starting point. They are modern, affordable in basic forms, yet filled with opportunities to discover rare and valuable varieties. Completing a set of all four reverses is a goal many collectors pursue, but finding them in top condition can be a rewarding challenge. Proof and high-grade examples remain especially sought after. At auctions, certain rare and flawless 2009 pennies have sold for surprising amounts, proving that even modern coins can carry serious value when the right qualities are present. The artistry of the 2009 series cannot be overlooked. Each reverse design is beautifully detailed, telling a different chapter of Lincoln's life. This artistic diversity makes the coins stand out in the history of U.S. numismatics. The 2009 Lincoln cent is also a reminder that coins are not just currency, but the price of this penny is $55,000. Top 2. The year 1967 holds a fascinating place in the story of the Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that is both ordinary in appearance yet extraordinary in its history and collectability. To the casual eye, a penny from 1967 might look like any other, but collectors know there are secrets hidden within these small copper pieces. By 1967, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for nearly 6 decades. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the penny had become one of the most recognized and widely used coins in America. Its enduring design and historical importance made it an icon in U.S. coinage. The obverse of the 1967 penny features Victor David Brenner's famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that had been in place since the coin's debut. The bust of Lincoln faces right, framed by the word liberty on the left, the motto "I in God we trust" above, and the date 1967 placed prominently on the right. The reverse design is equally classic, featuring the wheat ears motif introduced in 1909 and later replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. By 1967, the coin carried the Lincoln Memorial reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, showcasing the great monument in Washington, D.C., with the tiny figure of Lincoln seated inside visible to those with sharp eyes or magnification. But what makes 1967 such an interesting year for collectors is not just the design, but the circumstances surrounding coinage in the United States during that period. The mid-1960s were years of great change for American money. Silver was disappearing from circulating coins, and the mint was experimenting with ways to discourage hoarding and increase availability. One of the unique features of 1967 coinage is that no mint marks were used. In an effort to stop collectors from hoarding coins by mint location, the U.S. Mint removed mint marks entirely between 1965 and 1967. This means every 1967 penny looks the same regardless of where it was minted, adding a layer of mystery for collectors. Billions of 1967 pennies were produced, and most entered circulation, becoming pocket change for everyday Americans. Yet within this massive mintage, there are coins that stand apart for their quality, rarity, and errors that occurred during production. High-grade examples of the 1967 penny are highly prized today. Circulation quickly wore down most of these coins, leaving them scratched and dull. Finding one in pristine uncirculated condition, with sharp detail and original luster, is far less common than one might think. Proof coins were also struck in 1967, and these coins display mirror-like surfaces and incredible detail. Collectors treasure these proof issues as some of the most beautiful examples of the Lincoln cent series from that decade. Error coins from 1967 add another layer of excitement. During production, some pennies were struck off-center, giving them an unusual appearance that instantly catches the eye. Others may have doubled dies, where design elements appear doubled due to slight misalignments during striking. There are also pennies struck on defective or improperly prepared planchets, resulting in odd textures, clipped edges, or incomplete designs. Each of these era coins tells a unique story, making them one-of-a-kind collectibles. The absence of mint marks on 1967 coins also adds a special charm. For collectors who usually distinguish coins by mint location, this 3-year period stands out as a time when every penny carried only the date, uniting them under a single design. In terms of value, most 1967 pennies in circulated condition are worth only face value, but the story changes when we enter the realm of high-grade examples and rare varieties. Some of these coins, preserved with incredible care, have sold for astonishing amounts at auction. Collectors often search through rolls of old pennies hoping to find a 1967 example in exceptional condition. The thrill of discovering a coin that survived decades without a single scratch or blemish is part of what makes this hobby so exciting. For those who appreciate history, the 1967 penny is more than just copper. It represents a snapshot of America during the late 1960s, a time of cultural change, economic shifts, and national reflection. To hold a penny from that year is to hold a piece of that era in your hand. The Lincoln cent has always been a coin of the people, used by millions in daily transactions. Yet within its small frame lies a story of endurance and legacy that few other coins can match. The artistry of both the obverse and reverse designs contributes to its timeless appeal. Lincoln's portrait remains dignified and strong, while the Lincoln Memorial reverse serves as a reminder of his lasting influence on the nation. Collectors know that modern pennies may not always seem valuable, but the hidden treasures of 1967 prove otherwise. Condition, rarity, and errors can transform a common coin into a remarkable collectible worth far more than a single cent. As with many coins, the true value of a 1967 penny lies in the details. Subtle variations, sharp strikes, and unique errors are what make certain examples so highly prized in the numismatic world. The legacy of the 1967 penny also reminds us that patience and attention to detail pay off. Many people overlook these coins, passing them along without a second thought. But collectors who know what to look for can uncover treasures hiding in plain sight. Numismatics is a hobby that rewards curiosity, and the 1967 penny is the perfect example of how something so small can carry such great significance. Every collector dreams of finding that one coin that turns out to be extraordinary. Over the decades, these pennies have become increasingly difficult to find in top condition. Time has worn away many, but those preserved in their original state have only become more valuable. Auction records show that rare 1967 pennies with unique qualities can command staggering prices, surprising even seasoned collectors. The excitement of bidding wars proves just how special these coins are. The Lincoln penny is a symbol of America's respect for its history, and the 1967 issue continues that proud tradition. It stands as both a tribute to Lincoln himself and a reflection of the times in which it was minted. As you explore the world of coin collecting, the 1967 penny is one issue you cannot overlook. Whether you are searching for high-grade examples, rare proofs, or intriguing errors, this coin offers opportunities for discovery and excitement. Collectors know that behind every coin is a story, and the story of the 1967 penny is one of resilience, uniqueness, and hidden potential. It reminds us that history lives on in the coins we carry. So the next time you come across a penny from 1967, take a closer look. It might just be one of the special ones that collectors dream of finding, and among these rare treasures, some examples have achieved values so high they astonish even experts. In fact, one exceptional 1967 Lincoln penny has reached a value of $144,000. Top 3. The Lincoln 1-cent penny of 1981 holds a fascinating place in American coinage, not just for its history but also for the transitional story it tells. To many, it looks like an ordinary copper penny, but collectors know that coins like this can hold secrets that transform them from small change into treasures. The obverse of the 1981 penny carries Victor David Brenner's timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design first introduced in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. This design had already become one of the most iconic images in American numismatics by 1981, and it continues to be instantly recognizable today. Around the bust of Lincoln are inscriptions that give the coin its character and identity. "In God We Trust" stretches across the top, "Liberty" appears to the left, and the year 1981 sits on the right side of the coin. Beneath that date is often a mint mark, depending on where the coin was struck. The reverse features Frank Gasparo's design of the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959. The memorial sits in perfect detail, and with close inspection, the tiny statue of Lincoln can be seen seated inside. The inscriptions "United States of America," "E Pluribus Unum," and 1 cent give the reverse its powerful presence. What makes the 1981 penny truly fascinating is its place in the timeline of America's coinage. This year marked the final full year of the traditional copper composition for the Lincoln cent. Starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a copper-plated zinc composition, which is still used today. This means the 1981 penny is among the last of its kind, containing 95% copper and 5% zinc. For many collectors, that fact alone gives it historical significance, as it represents the end of an era in American small coinage. The 1981 penny was minted in large numbers across several facilities. The Philadelphia Mint struck coins without a mint mark, while the Denver and San Francisco mints used the D and S mint marks respectively. Proof versions were also made in San Francisco, offering a mirror-like finish for collectors. Because billions of pennies were struck in 1981, the majority still circulate today, and many are worth only face value. Yet within this massive production are coins of exceptional quality and rare errors that command remarkable premiums. One of the features that makes 1981 pennies interesting is the proof coinage. That year, both Type 1 and Type 2 proofs exist. The Type 1 shows a filled S mint mark, while the Type 2 has a clearer, sharper S. Collectors prize the Type 2 proof for its rarity and beauty. High-grade examples of 1981 pennies also bring significant interest. Coins that were never circulated and remain in pristine, brilliant red condition are difficult to find after decades of storage and handling. Such examples have sold for incredible amounts in the numismatic market. Error coins are also part of the 1981 penny story. Double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other unusual mint errors make some examples unique and far more valuable than ordinary pennies. Collectors often search through rolls of 1,981 pennies in hopes of finding one of these rare errors or a gem-quality piece that stands out from the rest. The excitement of discovery keeps this coin popular among enthusiasts. The fact that 1981 pennies are still commonly found in circulation makes them accessible to everyone. The thrill lies in knowing that a rare variety could be sitting unnoticed in someone's pocket change, waiting to be discovered. Over time, coins from 1981 have taken on greater historical importance. With copper no longer the standard after 1982, the 1981 issue represents the last of the classic copper pennies, making them a sentimental favorite for collectors who appreciate tradition. The design itself remains elegant and dignified. Lincoln's portrait continues to inspire, while the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse ties the coin directly to the nation's history and architecture. The 1981 penny is also a reminder of how everyday objects can carry extraordinary stories. To most people, it's simply a cent. To a collector, it's a relic of the last great copper age of the Lincoln cent series. Many people underestimate the value of modern coins, believing only old or rare dates are worth collecting. But the 1981 penny proves that condition, rarity, and historical context can elevate even a common year to greatness. When preserved carefully, these coins shine with a red copper brilliance that makes them highly desirable. Collectors prize these brilliant uncirculated examples, knowing how difficult it is to maintain such condition over decades. Proof versions, with their mirror-like fields and frosted designs, represent the pinnacle of craftsmanship for the 1981 cent. These coins are often stored in protective cases, making them some of the best preserved pennies from that year. The Philadelphia and Denver issues, while common in lower grades, become rare and valuable when found in mint state condition with full detail. Collectors often send such coins to grading services, where the highest grades can bring extraordinary prices. The San Francisco mint-marked proofs, especially the Type II varieties, are even more treasured. Their scarcity and beauty make them stand out in any Lincoln cent collection. The charm of the 1981 penny lies in its dual role as both an everyday coin and a collectible with historical depth. It bridges the old and new, marking the transition from copper to zinc. Collectors understand that the story behind a coin is just as important as its design. For the 1981 penny, that story is one of change, tradition, and hidden value. Over the years, certain 1981 pennies have captured headlines for the prices they achieved at auction. Exceptional condition, rare varieties, or unique errors can transform a single cent into a collector's dream. The enduring appeal of the Lincoln Penny series ensures that 1981 examples will continue to hold value, both financially and historically, for years to come. For anyone starting a collection, the 1981 penny offers an exciting opportunity. It is still possible to find examples in circulation, yet the possibility of uncovering something rare makes the search worthwhile. Each penny is a piece of American history, and the 1981 issue is no exception. It connects us to a time of change, when the mint shifted its practices but preserved the legacy of Lincoln on the nation's smallest coin. In the world of numismatics, stories like this remind us why collectors continue to seek, preserve, and cherish coins that others overlook. The 1981 penny may be small, but it carries a big story. And among the most extraordinary finds, one 1981 Lincoln penny has reached the astounding value of $96,000. Top 4. The Lincoln 1-cent penny of 1985 may seem like an ordinary coin that millions of Americans handle daily, but in the world of numismatics, it holds secrets and stories that make it shine far brighter than its face value. This coin is one of those remarkable examples where history, design, and rarity come together in fascinating ways. The obverse features the famous bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His image, created in 1909 to mark Lincoln's 100th birthday, still resonates with collectors today, symbolizing leadership, freedom, and the enduring legacy of one of America's greatest presidents. Across the top of the coin rests the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left of Lincoln's portrait is the simple but powerful word liberty, and to the right sits the date, 1985. Beneath that year is a mint mark, depending on the facility where the coin was struck, either Philadelphia without a mark or Denver with the familiar D. The reverse design is equally iconic, showing the majestic Lincoln Memorial, crafted by Frank Gasparo. With its strong pillars and elegant detail, it represents not only a building but also a nation's respect for Lincoln. If you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, a small but extraordinary detail. The inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent complete the reverse design. These words and symbols tie the coin to American identity, giving it weight far beyond its small size. By 1985, the Lincoln cent had already been in production for over 75 years, but this year was part of a new chapter in the penny's story. Since 1982, the mint had switched from the traditional copper alloy to a copper-plated zinc composition. This change reduced costs but created new challenges for durability and long-term preservation. That means the 1985 penny is a zinc-based coin, with just a thin copper coating. This composition makes finding well-preserved examples difficult, as many corrode, discolor, or develop spots over time. Collectors prize those that remain bright, red, and fully intact. The Philadelphia Mint produced an enormous number of 1985 pennies, as did the Denver Mint, making them common in circulation. However, common does not always mean worthless. Exceptional condition and rare errors can elevate this penny into something very valuable. Proof versions were also struck in San Francisco, marked with an S mint mark. These coins, made specifically for collectors, feature mirror-like surfaces and sharp details that stand out from circulation strikes. Proof examples from 1985 are admired for their beauty and craftsmanship. Error coins are one of the most thrilling aspects of 1985 pennies. Double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and other mistakes that escape the mint make these coins extremely collectible. Some of these errors are unique, which means no two examples are exactly alike. The 1985 Lincoln penny also has a reputation among collectors as a coin that can surprise anyone searching through pocket change. While billions were made, only a few are in perfect condition or carry unusual minting errors, and those are the ones that command high values. Collectors often send 1985 pennies to professional grading services to determine their condition. The highest grades, such as MS67 or higher, are rare and can sell for thousands, especially if the coin retains full red color. The copper-plated zinc composition means these coins are lighter than older copper cents. They weigh just 2.5 grams compared to the 3.11 grams of the earlier copper issues. Even this small change in weight is important to collectors who understand the history of coinage. The story of the 1985 penny is also one of transition. It represents the early years of the zinc era, a time when the U.S. Mint was still perfecting the process of producing coins with this new composition. Mistakes and errors during this period have made certain coins particularly fascinating. Numismatists often point out that coins like the 1985 penny remind us how even the smallest details, like metal composition or mintmark variety, can make a big difference in value. The ordinary becomes extraordinary when examined closely. The Lincoln cent series itself is one of the most beloved in American history. Collectors often aim to build complete sets spanning from 1909 to the present, and coins like the 1985 penny form an important part of that journey. While most 1985 pennies are still only worth 1 cent, rare examples with flawless surfaces or striking errors have been auctioned for sums that shock those unfamiliar with the hobby. That is part of what makes coin collecting so thrilling: ordinary coins with hidden stories of value. Proof coins from 1985 are particularly beautiful, with frosted designs that stand out against their reflective fields. Collectors treasure them for their artistry as much as for their rarity. The Denver Mint's 1985 D pennies are especially known for producing high-quality strikes, but even there, the search for pristine examples continues. Only a handful of coins achieve the absolute top grades, making them highly sought after. The Philadelphia Mint coins, which carry no mintmark, are abundant but harder to find in gem condition. Coins struck there often suffer from weaker strikes, making fully detailed examples more desirable. The allure of the 1985 penny lies in its dual identity. It is both a common coin and, in rare cases, an extraordinary collectible. This balance keeps collectors searching rolls, bags, and boxes in hopes of finding a standout piece. Some of the most dramatic era varieties include double dia verse, where the inscriptions or date show signs of doubling. Such coins can fetch incredible prices when authenticated and graded. Other errors, such as off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, or broad strikes where the coin is wider and flatter than normal, are equally captivating. These mistakes tell the story of what went wrong during the minting process. For beginners, the 1985 penny offers an accessible entry point into collecting. It's easy to find examples and change, yet the possibility of discovering a rare treasure adds excitement to the hunt. For seasoned collectors, high-grade or era 1985 pennies represent a challenge worth pursuing. The hunt for perfection in such a common coin is what makes the hobby endlessly fascinating. Each 1985 penny is a small piece of American history, reflecting the nation's shift in coin production methods and carrying forward the legacy of Abraham Lincoln's image. When you hold a 1985 penny in your hand, you are not just looking at 1 cent of currency. You are holding a piece of a much larger story, one that spans generations and continues to evolve today. The coin's importance is not only measured in its metal but also in its connection to people's daily lives. Billions handled it without a second thought, yet within that sea of coins, a few have become legends. And among those legends, one extraordinary 1985 Lincoln penny has reached the incredible value of $85,000. Top 5. The Lincoln 1 cent penny of 1998 is a coin that millions of Americans have seen, used, and spent, but behind its ordinary face lies a fascinating story that has caught the attention of collectors all around the world. This coin carries with it the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner back in 1909. The portrait is iconic, with Lincoln's sharp features and thoughtful expression reminding us of his powerful leadership and his role in shaping America's history. Above his head sits the bold inscription, "I in God we trust," a motto that resonates deeply with Americans. On the left side of the design, the word Liberty stands proudly, while the right side carries the date, 1998, a year that seemed ordinary at first but later revealed treasures within its mintage. Depending on where the penny was struck, it may carry a mint mark just under the date. The Philadelphia Mint issued coins without any mark, while the Denver Mint coins were marked with AD. Both versions had massive mintages, but collectors know the real value lies not in quantity, but in quality and rarity. The reverse of the coin features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. Its strong, majestic pillars and intricate details give the coin a sense of dignity. Look closely, and you'll even spot a tiny seated statue of Lincoln in the center of the memorial. It's a detail so small, yet it symbolizes so much. Surrounding the memorial are the inscriptions United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, while the bottom reads 1 cent. The design ties the coin back to the values of unity, freedom, and national pride. By 1998, the Lincoln cent was already in its zinc era. Since 1982, the U.S. Mint had switched to copper-plated zinc, a cost-saving measure that gave the penny its thin copper shell and lighter weight of 2.5 grams compared to the older copper cents. This change in composition created challenges for collectors, because zinc pennies are more prone to spotting, corrosion, and damage. Finding a bright red, uncirculated 1998 penny in perfect condition is far harder than many people realize. Billions of pennies rolled out of the mints in 1998, making them one of the most common coins in circulation. But as history has shown time and again, even the most common coins can hide extraordinary value under the right circumstances. Proof versions of the 1998 penny were also struck at the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark. These coins, made especially for collectors, were given mirror-like fields and frosted details, making them far more beautiful than the average penny you'd find in your pocket. Among collectors, era coins from 1998 are some of the most exciting. Errors such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and double dies can turn an ordinary penny into something worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. One of the most famous 1998 varieties is the close AM penny, where the letters A and M in America on the reverse appear close together rather than spaced apart. This small difference has made the 1998 close AM penny highly desirable and extremely rare. The close AM variety occurred because the mint accidentally used a proof reverse die to strike some circulation coins. This kind of mix-up is what collectors dream of, because it creates a coin that was never meant to exist. Examples of the 1998 close AM penny in high grades have shocked the coin community by selling for thousands of dollars at auction. The thrill of discovering such a coin in pocket change still excites collectors today. Even without rare varieties, condition alone can make a huge difference in value. A 1998 penny in circulated condition is worth face value, but one in pristine mint state, graded MS 67 or higher, can command serious attention. The grading process looks at luster, strike, and surface preservation. Because zinc pennies scratch and tarnish so easily, only a handful of 1998 pennies survive in truly flawless condition. For beginners, the 1998 penny is an exciting coin to search for because it still appears in everyday change. The chance of spotting a close AM variety or an unusual mint error keeps the hunt alive and rewarding. For advanced collectors, the challenge is in finding the absolute best examples, those rare gems that stand above the billions of ordinary coins. That pursuit is what keeps numismatics thrilling and competitive. The Lincoln Cent series itself is a collector's favorite because of its long history and the story it tells about America through its designs and changes. The 1998 penny is a continuation of that legacy, but with its own unique surprises. When you hold a 1998 penny, you are holding more than just currency. You are holding a piece of a massive history of coinage, a link in a chain that stretches back to 1909 when Lincoln first appeared on the cent. Every scratch, every shine, and every detail tells a story of where that penny has been and what it has witnessed. Some pennies have traveled across the country in pockets, purses, and cash registers, while others sat protected in coin holders, waiting to be discovered. The 1998 penny reminds us that rarity is not just about age. Even a relatively modern coin, if struck in the right way or preserved in the right condition, can be worth more than anyone ever imagined. Collectors often marvel at how such a small detail as the spacing of two letters can make the difference between 1 cent and thousands of dollars. This is the magic of numismatics. The smallest details can carry the greatest value. The beauty of this hobby is that anyone, young or old, can take part. With just a handful of coins and a sharp eye, a collector could stumble upon a treasure like the 1998 Close AM penny and change their story forever. These coins show us that history is not always locked away in museums. It can be found in your very own pocket change. That sense of discovery is what keeps people searching, one penny at a time. The 1998 Lincoln penny stands as proof that extraordinary value can hide in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to look closer. Collectors will continue to search rolls, boxes, and bags of pennies, fueled by the dream of uncovering the rare varieties and mint errors that make the 1998 penny so special. And as history has shown, one rare example of the 1998 Lincoln penny has been valued as high as $58,000.